You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hey, y'all, welcome back to episode 174 of They Live by Film. Man, it's been a while since we've done an interview. And I was so excited when Stephen Billings, formerly of only Chasing Labels fame, and now of Chasing Labels and Mutations fame, reached out and said that he'd be willing to be a guest and kind of talk about what he's up to. So, Stephen, this is long overdue, but thank you so much for
Yeah.
doing this.
No, man, thank you. I mean, I'm starting this new thing and I wanted to try my best to give the best go to, first impression. I want people to help me. I need to help spreading the word. So you letting me come on and talk is my benefit here. So thank you.
Ah, but the world gets to benefit from your knowledge about film. We're gonna, as I said, we're gonna grill you on French New Wave for 3 hours.
Oh, geez. Well, it's going to be very short podcast. I mean, I know the French New Wave a little bit, but God, how long? Usually an hour and a half interview. God, that's gonna be rough.
Do you well, I guess a couple of questions came to my mind as soon as we decided to do this. Do you still keep track of your collection and like inventory it and
Yeah,
keep up with it pretty closely?
I would say pretty closely. I use an app on my phone. I think it's My Movie, something like that. My
Uh-huh.
Movie Pro.
Uh-huh.
And I know some people like to use like, the Blu-ray.com.
Mhm.
I thought about switching over, but this one works pretty fine. I think I keep up with it pretty good. Sometimes they get away from you. Like I'll forget something to scan something in, but yeah, I do pretty good. Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask what you're up to now as far as your collection
Oh
size?
God. It's let's see.
Because you've
It's
been a pretty ardent collector for what, for years now, right?
it's been I've been doing it God. Just for 15 years, so I don't know, something like
Yeah.
that. Let's see. Right now it's saying in here 3,444.
That's a lot of movies.
Yeah,
And
it's
does
not too
that,
bad.
if it's a 10 film box set, does the app count it as one or 10?
Yeah, they so the app it'll tell you it'll separate it between, if there's like just specific like the barcodes and then like as they call it, children, the inside the
Huh.
box. So it separates the box sets into another number
Got it,
to
got
to
it.
how many
Okay, good.
films you have in your collection. So
Man, that's a lot of movies. That's awesome, man. And you've been talking about collecting movies for at least 3 years now with
well,
Chasing Labels.
yeah, so chasing labels has been, I guess it was 3 years and then I left
Right.
that show, and then it's now been another year and a half. So I mean, yeah, I would say since then we've been talking about strictly collecting. Before that, I've done many other things before even I met my co-host Andrew Cabral. Um, I've been doing movie content online for 10 plus years. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
And how much of that was just straight porn?
Um, everything before chasing labels. So I mean, I've kept it pretty soft. So
Yeah.
it's not very hard edge. So it kind of gets lost. That nobody wants softcore porn. They want the hard stuff. So
Well,
that's why you don't really see it. But yeah,
it happens to all of us as we get older.
I
I
mean,
would.
ask Sylvester Stallone. I mean, he did it.
No, that's great. I remember when They Live by Film started, we were doing a lot of interviews, and I was always jealous of some of the interviews you've got. You seem to have a very keen ability to go out and get some pretty amazing people on that show.
Yeah, it was. As Ryan Verrill would say, you just you just try. I mean, like, you just sometimes you get lucky and people will answer messages, or some of these filmmakers, they really like engaging with their community, so you get lucky.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of just covering ground. And I was very ambitious at the time. At the time, I was trying to have an interview a week. Like back when Chasing the Label started, it was a weekly show, and we did interviews every week, and I would back catalog them, and I used to post like these like flyers that would tell you who's coming, and it was a big thing. It was almost people. I had one person say one time they were like, "Man, it's like going to like a panel that I want to see at a Comic Con, and I get to see who's coming." Like, and it's like I'm
Uh-huh.
like, that's what I'm going for. Yeah, get people excited.
Awesome, man. Well, you've been an integral part of this community, and I think especially, it's I view you, and you can tell me if you disagree, but because you just said 10 years, so maybe this is my fault, but I view you as one of these, COVID related kind of like maybe you really hit your groove at that time, or or at least it's when I maybe paid attention more, maybe is the better way to
Sure.
say it, but I think of Disconnected and y'all and a few others as far as really kind of hit their stride during COVID,
Well, I think
right
yeah,
after.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think sometimes it's things come at the right time. Things, I think maybe for me it was I found the thing it was kind of weird because when we decided to do chasing labels, it was like kind of like a weird like because before that, me and Andrew had done another show called the Cinema Discovery Project, and it was
Mhm.
essentially like just different, kind of what you do on They Live by Film. Um, Different subject matters, different. You talk about a movie series, you talk, a lot of different things all over the place,
Mhm.
or we would talk about one movie,
Mhm.
and after a while, I was, I guess, similarly to Chasing Labels, I was like, I want to do something different. That'll be a thing you hear on here talking to me is that I get over things and I want to move on to do something else. Um, and so, yeah, we did that for a couple years, and then Chasing Labels came along, and it was the stride. We were both like, why don't we just talk about Blu-rays? We literally together always call each other and talk about our Blu-rays in our collection.
Uh-huh.
And we're like, why don't we just talk about it on the podcast? Like that could be the podcast, us talking. It was like so stupid. I was like, God. So yeah, but before that, it was like a whole array of other things. I used to there's a on Facebook there's a group called Film Club, and
Uh-huh.
the guy that started it, Carl Champion Jr., who you'll see in some of my future endeavors coming up with movie mutations. Um, he was the guy that started that group, and this group has been on there forever. It's got thousands and thousands of people in it, and so he ended up living where I live, like randomly. It was weird.
Oh, wow.
Um, and so we caught up and we became fast friends. And then at the time I also dabble as a musician. I'm a singer. Um,
Okay.
and so I was working at a recording studio, and the guy there, he's super awesome. His name's Joe Potts, and I asked him, I was like, hey, can we use the studio to do a show, like a YouTube show, and he was all for it. He's a charismatic guy who wanted to be involved and help us get it done. And so we kind of used the community of Film Club and turned it into a show where we could just talk about new
Oh, wow.
movies, recent, and it became a 3 camera setup. Like we set up, but we built a set
Uh-huh.
inside the recording studio with 3 camera setup and around basically a round table of 4 people. And yeah, I did that for a couple years, all the editing. We did 50 episodes. Along
Uh-huh.
with that, we did these comedy sketches that would be the group of us, the group of people. It was a rotating cast of people. It was like 7 or 8 of us, and we did comedy sketches. We did the intro to every episode, and then I did all that for a few years, and then did other things, and then went into doing chasing labels eventually, and that's now we're here. So
Wow.
that's 10 years, 10 plus years there. So,
You're just a creative by nature, man.
dude, it's a problem. It's a problem. I mean, it isn't, but it is. Like it's, I almost thought I had ADHD because I couldn't focus on one thing. I have so many things that I want to do,
Yeah.
and that's part of becoming an adult too. It's like you got to pick and choose, you know, between your things you really want to do, and then so I got a notebook. I'll get around to everything one day.
But the project from 2025 to 2028 is going to be called Movie Mutations.
Yeah, the 3 years that I'll spend on this because I'll just burn myself out of it. Yes, you're right. Um,
Yeah, so tell us, I mean, so first of all, I guess just at a high level, what is movie mutation?
so at that point, I'll start with the kind of the story that leads into it. So I did take a break from chasing labels. I stopped not this summer, but the summer before. And so I was like, taking a break, reevaluating things. And then during that time, I started thinking about what I wanted to do next, what I could actually spend time doing. And my biggest thing is, I'm an idea guy. I love just brainstorming. I love talking with people about things that we can make. I'm truly at the core of it. I'm not only a movie lover, but I love filmmaking. Like I'm an amateur filmmaker. Like I'm not great, but I do what I can do with what I have. And I love doing. I love storytelling, and so I'm always looking to find ways to tap more into that. And chasing labels couldn't do that for me. I could
Yeah,
sit there and talk for 3 hours, but that wasn't doing anything for me creatively. So
true.
I'm always looking for show ideas that kind of tickle that itch, whatever itch that scratch that,
Uh-huh.
whatever the term is.
Uh-huh. Tickle the
Um,
pickle.
yeah. So, um, so I started thinking about what I could do, and I've always loved that idea of like, you're with you're with a buddy and you're just like talking about a movie series and you start thinking like, God, what if they made a sequel of that? Or what if this person starred in that movie?
Uh-huh.
So just that idea of like pitching ideas about movies and or what they could have been and what they can be, or
Uh-huh.
was the start of it. And then I started thinking like, is it this they don't right now there isn't really like a movie trivia thing going on either. Like online that's popular. I know they used to have the Schmodown, as they called it, was a very
Okay.
popular trivia thing going on, and so it just became a hybrid project of figuring out how to create a game that could tap into that creative nature of talking about movies with your friends, um, and just giggling about that, and yeah, I mean that's really the main. That's where it started, and then I started developing the details of it. I don't know how deep we want to get into details, but essentially, there's every time this game is played, there's one movie at the center of it. In
Okay.
this case, our first episode will be Wizard of Oz,
Great.
and there's two players, and on each side, there'll be 3 rounds, and they each hit a different barrier of the filmmaking experience. You got the genre,
Mm-hmm.
the filmmaker, the director, and the cast.
Okay.
And so each round they'll be tested through trivia in
Mm-hmm.
each of them categories, and then whoever wins in the trivia round will get the advantage when it comes to the creative pitching.
Okay.
So, and then in the creative pitching, you get different genres that you have to pitch that movie with. So, in this case, Wizard of Oz, you'll see one guy pitch Wizard of Oz as a heist movie,
Yeah,
and
sure.
then you'll get I think the other guy pitched it as a space opera, and then both of them guys will go at each other with their pitch, and then me and 2 other judges discuss their pitches and decide who had the better pitch. And then the fun thing is moving forward, whoever won, that now is the movie. So like if
Oh, okay. Okay.
space opera won, now we have to moving
Cast
forward,
it.
that movie is that pitch. And so then when we go into the director round, they have to pick. They'll do trivia again, and whoever wins gets to pick from a selection, and then the other person gets mystery picks. And then I think it was, let's just say it was Quentin Tarantino versus Sean Baker, and so they'll pitch Sean Baker directing this space opera version of that,
Uh-huh.
and then whoever has the better pitch, that's the
That's
thing
it.
moving forward, and whoever affects the film more by the
Uh-huh.
end of it wins. So
I love
that's
it.
yeah. So it's you know I've been spending many months testing this game with people behind the scenes, and I think it's still a work in progress. It's still something that we're working out the kinks a little bit, but I think it's at a point where it's worth sharing with people at this. I think the main thing is the trivia. Like the trivia, I think is either too much or it's a little too ambitious, and we maybe need to rein it in. But otherwise, everything else I think is just it works.
But
So
the fun thing is, this is kind of like, people will get mad sometimes if you say, like, oh man, I wish this had been directed by Coen Brothers. It would be a better movie.
yeah,
They'll be like, hey, but it wasn't. Like, let it go.
yeah,
But
just
this
yeah,
is kind of taking that on. This is like taking that a little bit and saying, having fun with it, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, it to me honestly I'm always I'm the host of it obviously. So like I'm always a judge, and what I'm looking for out of pitches is honestly And it's tough for players too. I'm not looking for the best pitch. I'm looking for the most entertaining pitch. So it
Yeah,
could be silly as shit. It could be
yeah.
some of the silliest shit I've ever heard. And I've heard some silly shit in these
Hmm.
practice games.
Uh-huh.
And so them are the ones I'm looking. Honestly, if you can make me laugh, if you can really like engage me with your idea, even
Uh-huh.
if it's stupid, that's the
Uh-huh.
one I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
So because this is called Movie Mutations, and this isn't meant to be we're going to mutate it into an Oscar-winning film, because there's also another aspect to this that I haven't really advertised a ton, and that is that there's this what I would say like inspired by horror hosts,
Hmm.
where there will be intros to each of these episodes that have a professor. His name's Professor Perkins, and his assistant Gus, who their goal is to destroy cinematic history.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much away because through these intros, through these openings, you'll learn more and more about the character. But essentially, he's a Professor Perkins is a jaded screenwriter who now hates, and now he's this scientist who's trying to make this AI that will infiltrate the internet and destroy cinema. So like there's this little like kind of fun, over the top, hokey kind of like horror host thing at the beginning that intros everything, and then it goes into it, and we have fun with the game. So
Man, you are creative through and through. That's fun.
so sometimes I'm a little too ambitious. We'll see. We'll see if people like
No,
it.
that's good. That's giving off like Mystery Science Theater vibes or
Exactly.
something where it's like some kind. That's great, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
So that's fun. So I had asked you just out of curiosity to pick some some movies that were influential for you. So I don't know if you did your homework, but do you
Damn,
have
I forgot.
but what are some movies that have influenced you a lot? Like where do you typically go for for your enjoyment here of the medium?
Well, so I always, like I'm sure the same answer happened. It changes for everybody their favorite movies, but the movie that got me into filmmaking, the movie that kind of made me interested in that kind of whole process is The Matrix. The Matrix. I was God, I was 10 years old,
Hmm.
and I remember watching it very vaguely, very not vaguely, very detailed, like in my mind, like even at the because like honestly, like a lot of things at that time I do not remember. Like it's already lost. All the
Hmm.
stuff rolling around in my head, taking up that space, it's gone. Um,
Hmm.
but I still distinctly remember watching this. My dad had built us what he called a clubhouse, but it ended up turning into a work shed. But at the time, it was a clubhouse for us, me and my brother, and we camped out there, and we had a little TV we brought out there to watch movies.
Oh, cool.
And for the first time, I watched The Matrix on VHS in that clubhouse, and was sucked the fuck in. Like I
Oh, of
loved
course.
it.
Yeah, of course.
Um, it it at first it was just the visuals, it was the fighting, it was all that stuff, and then it was the religious allegories and like all that detail and all that just shit that you could just soak up. That just loved it. It made me. I already loved movies, but God, it made me love movies so much more after seeing that. So
Yeah, how old were you when it came out? Just like, or when you
yeah,
saw it, I guess.
yeah, like it was. I was about 10 years. Well, it might
Okay.
have been like a year later. So maybe I was 11 because it
Okay.
was on VHS for sure when I first saw it.
That's awesome, man. So for movie mutations, you could say like The Matrix, but Mumblecore,
Yeah, yeah.
for
We could
example.
we could yeah, we could pitch it as that, like I mean whichever I come up with these games, I'll take suggestions for what people can pitch it with. So,
No, that's cool. It's a fun idea. I think my I'm in sales for my career, like my day job,
yeah.
and I don't really there. I think the better salespeople that I've been around have a creative streak.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like a mental dexterity thing, or it's like a ability to see the same thing from all sides and kind of just
Yeah.
look at it differently and play around with that. So I've always been attracted to creative endeavors and creative people because I think I don't know, life's more interesting. I think I don't like I don't know what to
Well,
say.
yeah, I mean it's God, I mean I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, I think it's when I was at probably my low, I've I would have never, I don't know that I would ever say I was ever depressive, but when I was at my lowest points in my life was when I was not being creative. I felt like I was in a rut. When it was in between times, before I started working because I was in a band, and then before I started working at the studio, recording studio, I was in kind of a rut there for a while. And it was the most down time of my life was when I wasn't being creative or wasn't, you know, having some
Yeah,
kind of outlet, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. What,
So.
just out of curiosity, since you brought that up, what kind of music did you play when you were in a band?
So we were called Early Morning Warning. It's
Yeah.
out there. You can probably find it. And we were very influenced by like '90s grunge. Like Alice. Once we were told we sounded like Alice in Chains meets like God. It was Alice in
Phantom.
Chains meets something. But we we were very much influenced by that time, that '90s time period. And we had like me and my best friend was the guitar player, and we very into harmonies, and we very much took that very seriously for a while. We went at it for about 5 years, you know, and it just they all he went off to college, and I it all kind of fell apart. Everybody had other things they had to go do. So, but it was fun. It was fun, and we had a reunion a few years ago. We did that.
Nice.
That was fun. So I've always wanted to get back into music, but it's tough. It's tough to find, especially in my area. God, anybody that wants to do original music, no. Everybody wants to
Uh,
join cover bands.
what's the I don't know if you're comfortable sharing this, but what's the biggest city that you're closest to?
I because like I live near Greensboro, Winston Salem.
Okay, so like the Research Triangle area, that whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, and
And
then
there's not a lot,
Charlotte's like an hour and 15 minutes away.
there's not live music there?
I mean, there's not a scene. I don't think there's real. I mean,
Okay.
I've been out of it for a while, but from what I understand, as still being around my friends that still
Yeah.
play out there, they're
Yeah.
all joining cover bands. Like it's
Okay.
not, there is no original music scene anymore in
Interesting.
this because there was a lot of um venues that closed. Some
Wow,
during
cool.
COVID, and one of the ones we had a place we used to play at all the time called Somewhere Else Tavern, small hole in the wall place, and that place closed, and the owner died, and it just a lot of them places that original bands could go to and be safe and do their thing are gone. So there's no scene.
Mhm.
So
Oh, RIP to that gentleman.
yeah.
But man, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I think you're right, roughly around the same age to know that the kind of Midwest indie boom that was there, like in the late '90s, early 2000. Like, there was the whole like Joan of Arc style that came from more Chicago, and then there was a bunch of was it Discord that came from DC. I don't know how much. I guess I'm just thinking about that in terms of the Carolinas, how much I heard coming from there. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I guess that wasn't as big of a hotspot for a lot of those indie bands, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah, like
I mean,
Nebraska,
maybe
Kansas.
in like Charlotte, there's a lot more of a scene in a bigger city area, but I didn't in our area here. It's nothing. It's
Interesting.
just yeah.
Small music detour, but I grew up I thought I was going to be in bands and everything growing up. I thought that was going to be my life. So just
No, that's cool, man. What did you play?
bass.
Awesome, love it.
Yeah,
Bass is important. Bass is the dark horse, most important part of the band.
yeah. That's
So
right. I'll take it. Um, so what do you want to do with movie mutations? So you are gonna have I'm assuming by the way you describe it, two guests on at a time.
well, there's two guests on, and then there's always hopefully going to be a guest judge.
Okay.
In this case, our first episode will have Mr. Ryan Verrill from Disconnected on.
Hey, we
So,
know that
so yeah, and I would love to have you, Chris. We need players, and we need judges, and if you're comfortable, we're always going to need it. So
man. Hate the game, not the player. What is it?
don't hate don't hate the player, hate the game.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah,
No, in this case, that's not true. Don't hate the game.
don't hate the just just be nice.
Just yeah, just don't hate it
Just
on.
don't hate my game, please.
That's the message.
I don't care.
Uh,
You guys can hate this game all you want. I'm just doing it because I want to do it. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, you guys like it.
no, it's cool. Yeah, I'd love to come on, man. We'll coordinate that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I like I don't know. I like my sense of humor lines up well with nonsense. And I'm not saying that your game is nonsense, but
Oh,
it
no, it
requires a
is.
little bit of
I
okay.
hope it is. I hope it's as nonsensical as possible. That's what I'm, that's I've like I said, there has been some practice games I've been rolling because some of the shit they've come up with. Like there was one where, and I'm not gonna say who was involved because I don't want anybody to feel bad, but they turned the movie Get Out into a cannibal film. And just think about that. Just
Hell
think
yeah.
about the movie Get Out and cannibalism.
Hell
And
yeah.
it's pretty dark. So
Was
um,
it Zach from They Live by
I'm
Film?
not going to say who it is.
Shout out to Zach if it was. And anyways, that's amazing. Um, man, okay, cool. Well, that I like that, man. So that's gonna. And when is it starting? It's starting like now, right?
Yeah, so it's set to premiere on November 16th. So this coming Sunday, I don't
Yeah.
know what day this is coming out, but November 16th, 7 p.m. EST.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Is it
and
live?
it'll be a premiere, so you can chat while it's playing.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it won't. I started out developing this as being a live show, but it's just too many things that I want to do with it. Wanting to have the graphics in there.
Mhm.
Sometimes when a player, um, in the cast round brings up an actor, sometimes they pick an actor that's not. And that's what sucks is like sometimes people will pick like more obscure actors, and I'm like, dude, you're not gonna win if you pick somebody that obscure, like, because we don't know who you're talking about. But
Yeah.
but but I do like to give a visual, so like I give, I like to do graphics. I'll show, when it comes to like obviously the trivia and the questions, things like that, we'll have graphics pop on the screen. I wanted to do all that stuff right. So we got all that in there.
Damn, man, it sounds ambitious. I love it. So if you've been around movie podcasting and movie content for 10 years, like what do you want to do? Like, do you want to be a producer one day? Like, do you want to write one day? Like, what would you
Oh.
do if you had unlimited wealth and time?
Um, I don't know. That's funny because like I don't know that I have a goal in mind for doing
Yeah, I don't
any of
mean like a
this.
5-year plan or something. I'm
No, no,
just
no,
curious,
no.
like what's your dream job in this industry?
I mean, I guess like I say I've always wanted to be a filmmaker, but I think like, being I guess being a producer, being an idea guy, somebody that works with people that want to do things
Yeah.
and I want to help them develop it is something that I'm an idea guy. I love to get in a room with people that want to do things and like hash out stuff and help them make it happen. Um, that's
Yeah.
something that I get I get super pumped on. Just people that are um, motivated and just like good stories, characters, just good ideas, just
Yeah.
having fun. I thrive on that stuff, and that would be something I would be into if people wanted to like work with me on developing ideas. I would be all for that. That would be just something that I feel like I'm giving something back if I'm helping people, do something they enjoy. So
Have you ever seen, you know what, my dream job? Have you ever seen behind the scenes? Did you ever watch South Park much?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. Did you ever see behind the scenes where you got to see Bill Hader's role in the South Park writing room?
Mm-mm.
I always thought that'd be a dream job. And if, by the way, if Bill's a
Yeah,
fan and I get this wrong, apologies, Bill. This is just my perception from watching. But he would basically, Matt and Trey would do all the writing of like the structure of the episode.
sure, yeah.
And then they would all just get in a room and like tell each other, make each other laugh. And then every once in a while, Bill Hader would like have an idea that make it in the episode and he got a writing credit. And I was like, damn, that's like a dream job, man.
That
Just
would
to
be
be in the
yeah,
room,
exactly.
right?
That's what I would
Um,
love to do too. Yeah, like when we were doing film club movie show, when we were doing all them sketches and stuff, like we would just hang out and just talk about like it was all guerrilla filmmaking. It was all just like making up shit and just like keeping it in my head and just going to film it. Um, and unfortunately, you can't find it anywhere. Like I meant to say that earlier. If you wanted to check out anything from Film Club Movie Show, it has been erased by YouTube. They
oh,
they
really?
they they permanently took our page off.
Did you make fun of Trump?
No, we did things like we had an episode called Puppet AIDS, so that might have been one of the reasons. We had an episode called we had one episode that was like kind of pro guns because it was like a couple guys shooting pumpkins with guns.
Okay.
I don't know, like, but we were very like silly and over the top and didn't care about offending people. So we would do a lot of things that were probably offensive to a lot of different groups,
Yeah.
and and it could have been honestly, when I got the email that told me, I didn't look in it too much. I was like,
It's
oh, I
about
see the
that.
Puppet AIDS episode for sure, but they didn't give me a chance to even like, you know, do anything about it. They just wouldn't let me have it back. They just deleted it. And I tried re-uploading the stuff and they did deleted it again. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
they're
So
really they're out for that show. So I'm gonna
you'll have
find a
to
way to
see.
get it online,
Yeah,
whether it's
man.
through another place like Vimeo or something. I'm gonna find a place that lets me upload this.
But you sell it to Netflix, man.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
sell the whole crop to Netflix for $200, whatever. I don't care. But there's
um,
some fun stuff in there. We did our, as you know, like me and Ryan started the Shelf Shock Rewind Awards, and
mhm.
we did back then. I did an award show with Film Club called the Film Club Clubbies, and so we we used to do the movie awards then, and we would do stuff like we did a whole opening like dance number, music number, and we filmed that shit. And I wrote a song, recorded it. We did a whole thing like that. Actually, I can get for people. It's online. It's just on Facebook instead of YouTube.
Okay,
So,
gotta fix
but
that.
it's stupid shit. Just we were
Well,
silly. We were pretty silly.
that's awesome, though, man. No, now you're making me nervous though, because I have an episode of Punk Vacation called Lolita Vibrator Torture.
Be careful, man.
So now you're making me nervous.
But
By the way,
it's only in the podcast world, right?
yeah,
Yeah, you'll be fine.
okay. It's not pro Lolita Vibrator Torture, by the way. That just
Oh,
happens
is
to
it
be the
not?
name of a movie.
I was okay if it was. It was fun.
Okay, where's the safe space?
Safe space. It's fun.
Yeah, no, the reason I was going down that tangent is I've always been thinking about this, you, Ryan, I've been thinking about it for myself, like what is the end goal here for us, right? Because we get
Yeah.
on, we talk for free about this thing that we love. And like I never had an end goal in mind, but now that we're approaching 5 years, I'm just like, so is this just gonna be like a 30-year thing that like I'm just talking, I don't know, like
No, when you start to think about it, you're like, damn, am I gonna be like in my 50s still doing this? Or yeah, like, and we talked about this beforehand, like justifying. Like, I have a wife, I have kids, I got to justify this, and
Mhm.
there's other things I've tried doing to feel like I can justify doing any extra things. For instance, you see me drinking out of this coffee mug. I actually started a thing, so I could get merch for Chasing Labels, but also I'm doing kind of it's like its own brand. It's called B-Roll Bandits,
Okay.
and right here is a Michael Bay mug that I
Yeah.
created,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it says on there, just a Michael Bay kind of day, and it's got like him, dude that looks like Michael Bay walking away from an explosion with helicopters and things.
Uh-huh.
And I got this sweater on actually too. That's a Spielberg one that has like aliens. It
Okay.
says aliens, dinosaurs, sharks. Oh my! So
Nice.
just a little, fun, film centric, shirts and sweaters and different things like that. So I'm trying to find avenues where I can make, because I think we can agree if we can somehow make a little money, like I don't have to be like, this didn't have to be my job, but if you could make a little money on the side just to help pay a few bills, like, or at least pay for the things that it takes to do this, because it
Right.
does cost money to do this.
Right.
Um, you know, subscriptions to things to like it takes a few bucks out of my pocket every month. So
Right. 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 Man. All right, cool. Well, look, I mean, I, I feel like that's so it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be every Sunday night, right?
well, no, this is so ambitious that is no way I could I could have a movie Mutations for you every Sunday.
Okay.
Right now it's looking like a monthly
Okay.
drop. Um, because I mean, being that I'm getting this off the ground, and it takes a lot. I mean, not only does it take some editing effort, but it also takes um, scheduling effort. So like,
Right.
I trying to get people scheduled to do this, and then record it and edit it, and excuse me, it's just very, and because it's a new thing, there's not as much of a crop of people that are willing to get involved,
Okay.
because it is scary for some people. They're like, I got to pitch ideas, and like I only have so much time, and I have to like, I don't know, like, so it
Uh-huh.
scares people.
Uh-huh.
It's not everybody's thing. And so, and like I said earlier, like my, like as much I've been podcasting, doing things for a long time, but I also feel like there's like, if I'm popular out there, I don't know it because I'm not interacting with the people like some of you guys do way better than I'm jealous because I have this sense of like not wanting to interact on the internet as much as other people like to.
Uh,
And so I think that that's to my detriment. I'm not chasing labels is not gaining a community quite like other people have because we're not as interactive with our community, and that's on us. But that's just because I'm more so focused on doing it and not nourishing it. You know what I mean?
we we laugh about this sometimes on They Live by Film because we have no idea who listens to us, and we've been
Exactly.
doing it 5 years, and I feel bad about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's, you know, before, I mean, and this is no shade to uh Andrew, my co-host. He's fantastic. He's honestly he's the reason that Chasing Labels is good because he's the one that does a lot of homework and you know a lot of information. But when we split up that show, the ratings of that show went down. Because I think we had have such a good chemistry back and forth that I think people really liked. And you know, along with that went the interviews. We stopped doing the interviews so much. People really liked the interviews, and so all that stuff like you know, it's brought us down to a way lesser level than we used to be at, and I'm okay with it. It's fine. Like, but it's you know, so I don't know what's going on out there, but I really hope that this new idea can bring a whole new audience to everything we're doing.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. I hope this is a good one. It sounds like an interesting show, and I can't wait to hear the first episode. And then once a month, for now, check in until you get a team of animators in Korea, like South Park
Okay.
guys did, and can produce an overly ambitious episode
Oh
once a week.
man, yeah, whatever it is, man. I'll do it, man. As long as my wife lets me.
What is there anything else that you want to talk about while you're on here? I mean, I know the main object was to talk about movie Mutations.
Sure.
Is there any other place where you want people to find you, or any place where you want to plug while you're here?
I mean, you know, we like I said, you know, we do other shows on there. We do movie mutations. We'll have movie mutations. We have the unwatched pile. We have movies down memory lane. That's other shows we do on that Chasing Labels page. Um, and no, I mean, I think that's really unless you have any other questions for me,
No,
I'm good.
I just want to encourage people to check you out because I think I liked the shows that you did
Yeah,
when you were running the interviews. I think you have a way of getting people to really open up, which is cool. Like you have
yeah,
some people that are really kind of loosen up and seem to be very comfortable around you, which is awesome. And I think the interviews you get some pretty interesting insights. Like I think, this is one thing as I look back on what Ryan's doing and what y'all did, and then what we were doing around the same time. I kind of have this desire for it to kind of live on like a record of this time of this era
yeah,
because I do
yeah. I
think,
mean,
yeah, go ahead.
I've thought about that. You know, I've thought about, you know, like when you're in something, you don't really think it's that big of a deal, like whatever. But you know, podcasting is only become as popular as it is now in the last, you know, what, 5 years or something. Like it's really boomed
Hmm.
recently, and but it's been around for what, 10, 15 years, you know, like
Oh yeah, probably more.
a
Well,
little more than that.
maybe I don't know. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
question,
I
but I
mean,
think it's been around for a while. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, in various forms, but you know, it's definitely gotten really popular recently.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
like you know, you know, people have talked movies on podcast and on YouTube and stuff for a while, but when you know, when physical media started getting its kind of due attention, yeah, I would hope that we could say that we were part of some kind of like little spot there that really took it a step further, not just talking about you know the movies and the releases, but digging into the people that made them. You know, because they're the ones that don't get. You know, they don't really get. There's so many heroes behind the scenes of all this stuff, and it's just
Yeah, yeah.
you know I think now in our community we look at people you know like Jonathan Hertzberg over at Fun City or you know people like that is like fucking heroes, man. Like
Oh,
they're
yeah.
keeping film alive, and um, you know it's I just love seeing everybody doing things. You know, said this recently. You know, people like uh, John Matthews is starting his new label. You know, over there with New Wave, and And of course, Ryan's doing his own features and stuff. Like he's doing tons of stuff. Like he's living the dream. He
Yeah.
never sleeps, but he's living the dream. He's
Yeah,
working
yeah,
with, he's doing all sorts of stuff, and I just love seeing it. I mean, I my ambitions. I have tons of ambition, but it's not quite where theirs is. Even though I'm in the circle, but like I love seeing everybody like just fucking doing it.
yeah. I
It's
know.
awesome.
I totally agree. I mean, even you take people like Sam Deegan that had a podcast and now
Yeah,
she's a historian, and
exactly.
rightfully so. She's amazing. Erica
Uh,
Silva's right behind her. Yeah.
one person I think about is Dice K Babu.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I love Dice K, and
The
I
OG.
was there right at the beginning. Like we were doing our show, we were doing Chasing Labels, and he, because podcasting started like I listened to the Criterion now,
Hmm.
and I know Aaron over there, and he was what kind of like put it in my mind to start a podcast,
Oh,
and so
cool.
I'd been on his podcast, and me and Dice K were on a podcast together, and so uh, that's so we're friends, and we messaged back and forth. And when he decided to start his YouTube channel, he asked me about it a little bit, and I'm like, dude, like you do it, man. You're gonna be awesome. Like and of course he's blown up. He's a star. Like I knew it. I mean, he's the Criterion guy. I mean, honestly, why isn't he on discs by now? Like
Yeah, I've wondered that too. Who else would you ever want to be like? The amount of research he does is uncanny.
it's yeah, if it hasn't happened already, somebody from Criterion really needs to think about putting him on some discs because there's nobody that I've seen, and I know there's so many people out there doing this stuff, but there's nobody I've seen champion that collection more than he does,
Yeah,
and with as much intellect and thought that's put into it. Like
I know. And his style is so wholesome. I
that's the
when
best part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's so pure. When we had him on, I called him the Mr. Rogers of
I listened to that episode. Yes.
and yeah, I just that's how I see him, man. He's just so I don't know, he's just so pure. I love that dude.
Yeah, it's the wholesomeness that the glasses there's a it's like he's an enigma but he's not like it's like and you could come up to him talk to him he's so like
Totally.
it's just it's the type he was the type of film person we needed at the time because I think we see it all the time there's so much negativity there's so much people being gatekeepy and just like somebody like that coming on and talking about movies and the way he does and making it inviting and making you curious. That's the
Mhm.
stuff, and that's the stuff I want for movie mutations because the host of that show, Professor Perkins, he hates movies. Essentially the character is a comment on trolls online,
Yeah.
and that and just making fun of that, how stupid it is to hate movies and how it should just be for fun. And the show and movie mutations is about celebrating creativity. That's like the big thing is like, let's be creative. Let's celebrate whatever the movie we're talking about through trivia, so you can learn, you can like, let's celebrate this movie. Let's celebrate what we love about movies and have fun. And um, yeah, that's what Dice K does too. I just love what he does on his channel. So,
Well, I feel like the way we kind of this conversation ended up, kind of, speaking of music, it's always interesting to see what people do for their second band or third band, they kind of move around the music scene a little bit. I feel like we're kind of following each other around here. But I'm looking forward to this next mutation in your life.
oh,
Um,
look at that.
yeah,
Of
and I appreciate you coming on and talking about it, man.
course, man. I loved it, man. I appreciate it. And like I said, anytime you want to come do something on our channel or be a mutator, please come over. And
Right.
like I said, thanks for letting me come on.
Awesome. Of course. See you online.
All right, man.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror, we'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.